I've spent just over 30 hours immersed in the Phantom Pain now, and yeah, it's just as incredible as it was when I first started playing. It's a testament to Kojima Productions' talent as a studio that the central gameplay hook still feels fresh and very exciting every time I load back in. Despite a few of the things I'm about to say, I still think MGS 5 is a phenomenal game and deserves every element of praise it's getting, and is easily my favourite game of the year so far. As explained on several occasions now, I'm somewhat of a newcomer to the MGS series. But like pretty much every other gamer who's had very little experience with it, I've heard tell of its extraordinary story. This then was what I was most looking forward to coming to the Phantom Pain, and to be honest, I feel a little let down so far. The narrative of most open world games often struggles to maintain momentum under the weight of absolute player freedom, but the central themes are nearly always well established regardless of how long you've been out helping Gwendolyn finding her missing sheep. MGS 5 just doesn't have that at all. Whilst there are a few really cool cutscenes that do a reasonable job of establishing certain plot points and characters, none of it really has enough weight. The plot seems to suffer from a lack of focus and misses that, dare I say it, perplexing and overly convoluted story I've tried so many times to understand and appreciate when reading about previous Metal Gear games. As this is both a sequel and a prequel, it could be argued that all the plot threads in MGS 5 have been built upon in previous games, and that it's almost a necessity to have played them in the first place. I disagree. Whether it's a prequel, a sequel, or both, a game should establish its central themes, characters and plot well enough, not necessarily to key in new players, but at least to stand alone as a great narrative experience. MGS 5 just doesn't do that for me. It intrigues me, there's elements of the story that I really like, it just doesn't feed me enough information to keep me wholly invested in what's going to happen next. It's not that it feels in any way contrived as such, just, well, spread far too thin. Though if recent rumours of Konami cutting Kojima's funding from under him are to be believed, this might not have had to have been the case. There are a seemingly endless amount of cassette tapes to be had that give further information about key plot points and characters, and this does not feel like an accident. It's as though Kojima wanted this exposition to be given credence in the story, but just didn't have the time or the money to flesh it out. It's a real shame. It's more of a disappointment than anything else, as I was looking forward to my first venture into a Kojima narrative. Now I'm going to be that guy and talk about Quiet. She's a great character, despite the fact she doesn't speak, and the way you can utilise her skills as a sniper via the buddy system is seriously cool. But the way she's portrayed is a little, dare I say, old-fashioned, to say the very least. Her overly scantily clad appearance is attempted to be given credence in the story, but it's paper thin, and the reason seems to be throwaway and negligible. Minor spoilers here, but there's a section shortly after you return her to Mother Base where she's being kept in a prison cell, and when you visit her, she's lying on her front, with her bikini undone, and ass angled upwards to fully illustrate the fact that she's wearing a thong. I was playing this section as a few friends of mine watched, and the whole thing was just ridiculously awkward. I'm trying to show them how cool and deep a game this is, then that appears. There's a few occasions that are even more gratuitous, but it'd be a little spoilery, so I'll keep it for you guys to discover. There's a couple more issues I have with the game that I'd like to discuss, but they're mostly things that could be quite easily resolved by the time the game reaches its conclusion, so that can wait till part 3. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.